Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Vault Excel. This is a new segment on this network from around the world. This is where I will bring you content of a story that is outside of the United States. New York Post is the source. One Big Mac with a side of wet mop. An Australian McDonald's employee was caught drying a seemingly wet mop underneath the fry station's heat lamp, earning the disgust of customers in the store and online. Debbie Barcott took her son to the fast food joint's Booville location, a suburb of Brisbane, Australia, on April 4th, when she saw the employee casually holding the mop inches from the hot lights and fries. Excuse me. Wow. I was just standing waiting for my order when I looked over and heard a staff member say, "I don't think you should be doing that as it could be a safety issue as it can catch on fire," the woman told Yahoo News Australia. Barcott claimed other employees worked around the mop dryer for about a minute, grabbing fries to complete the orders. "I was totally shocked at what I witnessed, and she just laughed it off," she said. The employee had just finished mopping the floor with the detachable microfiber mop head before she began drying it in front of the customers. The angered customer emailed the store's manager over the stomach-churning act, but only received a vague response. "Be assured that we're taking corrective action so a similar action will not reoccur," the manager replied. A McDonald's Australia spokesperson said it was an isolated incident, the outlet reported. Now, some of you are going to say, is that an isolated incident? How do we know? McDonald's takes food safety extremely seriously and follows strict cleaning, sanitization, and hygiene procedures in all restaurants, the company said. The employee caught in the less than appetizing deed will seemingly keep her job as the chain works to better train its workers. "We have addressed this with the restaurant directly and conducted thorough retraining for all employees on McDonald's sanitization, hygiene, and food safety procedures," the company added. Many social media users were equally and rightfully disgusted by what they watched, while some poked fun at the scene. "May as well just sweep the fries around on the floor for flavor," one person wrote with a vomiting emoji. "When I worked at McDonald's, I was astounded by the number of violations made for safety and hygiene," he added. "So that's where the flavor comes from?" one person joked. "Two all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed mop," a third wrote. "The old McMop is back. Must be limited time. Only get it while they're hot." New York Post is a source. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Elizabeth Luminous, Pale Writer. This content is coming out of Australia. Once again, this is a new segment to the Vault Excel from around the world. I was looking through my device just a little while ago, and I got the notification for the story. Please download the Newsbreak app. This is where the Queen gets a lot of her content besides the YouTube queue for my videos. It gives you breaking news from around the United States, abroad, and also in your local area. All you have to do is just put in your location or the nearest location where you live, and you'll get updates in your own town, jurisdiction, or city. What the hell is wrong with this lady? Lady, are you crazy? You are drying a mop, a nasty mop, over the French fry warmer. I want you all to visualize this. That little metal installment where your fries sit. She is standing there with a mop in her hands. I don't even think she had gloves on. Hold on a second. Excuse me. Let me double back for just a second. One second. I don't think she had gloves on. Can't tell. So imagine standing over a French fry warmer where you keep the French fries to stay hot under the lamps. And an employee is standing there with no gloves on, which means she's now holding a nasty mop that just mopped the floor. You'll see that in the video. The floor looks wet where a mop has gone over the floor to be clean. I guess right there in the front where you stand to order the food by the counter. So you do see that there is a wet floor. You also see this idiot, a female, standing there over the the fry containment. Oh my goodness. What in the hell is wrong with you? So now you got to ask the question, how many times has she done this? How many times have people walked by her doing it? Why are you all getting French fries out of there with her standing there? Somebody should have said something to her, which somebody said they did. The lady said somebody did say something to her. Hey, that could catch fire. Okay, besides the mop catching fire, hey, you shouldn't be standing here with this mop and people, their fries are here. We have to get their food from here. The hell is wrong with you? I probably would have cussed her out and got fired. Protocol. Did they give them retraining, the employees, because of this mop incident? You don't have proof. Is she still working there? We have to wait to see if the person who filmed the video comes back and tells us she's still there. This was uploaded a few months ago. I'd like that lady to come back and tell Yahoo News if she's still working there. Because if she's still working there, hell no. Hell no. Now, all it takes is for anybody to get sick from eating at this McDonald's. Now you have a lawsuit because they're going to attribute it to that incident right there, that mop. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, Pale Rider, you know they don't really put a lot of water in those mop buckets in restaurants just so the floor won't be, super slippery, but it still doesn't matter. It's nasty. Standing over there with a mop, and she's holding it in her hands because she's detached it from the mop, the stick. So she's holding basically the wet mop in her hands over the fry container. And rather, it doesn't matter. It's still unsanitary. It's just unsanitary. And she knows this. So what you have to ask yourself is how long she's been doing it. Did they retrain the employees like they said they did? Does she still have a job? What else have they been doing that's unsanitary? See, this is why people get sick when they go out to eat. You have to count where the products came from. Cross-contamination in packaging, preparing the food, shipping it. Then you have to count the people who open it once it gets to the store, to the restaurant. This is how you get your cross-contamination. Then the person who's handling it, making the food. See, there's a process, especially when you're dealing with things like fresh vegetables, fruit, people handling the food. I remember an incident many years ago where a man outside of Knoxville got sick from some onions, I think, at Chili's. And they traced it all the way back to, I think, Pennsylvania from a farm or something. They believe it was handled by somebody, I guess, sick or whatever. See, you don't know. And those are things you don't even think about. Vegetables, fruit. Well, somebody has to pick your apple, pick your grapes. Stay woke. So imagine somebody's picking your grapes, your apples, and they do not have proper hygiene. I would assume they're using gloves because you're talking about working out in the field for a very long time. So I can't see picking grapes and apples barehanded. But I'm not there, so I can't say. I'm just assuming. Now you have to count, as I said, picking the fruit, the container it sits in, the process of it getting to where it needs to go before it even gets on a truck and loaded, unloading the product, where the product is stored. See what I'm saying? It's a process. Then somebody has to handle that to put it out on the shelves in your grocery store or market. Food, same way. Cooked food. You got to know if it was tainted from the company that processed it. Okay? The protocol in making the food, prepping the food, packaging the food. Then once it gets to where it's going, and you see people who go to work every day, they are nasty as all get out. They don't brush their hair. They don't comb their hair. They're not wearing hair nets. They don't brush their teeth. Their fingernails are dirty. Because, you know, Queen don't like no man with fingernails. It's disgusting. That is a pet peeve of mine. If I see dirty fingernails, really on anybody, but a man especially, I see a man with fingernails. You know what I always say the first time I see a man with nasty fingernails? I always say he doesn't work. And a lot of people say, damn, Queen. Yeah. Yeah. You see a man with dirty fingernails? If I see a man with clean fingernails, I still say he don't got no job. Because the average job, you know, for men, they're using their hands a lot. So they wouldn't have long fingernails. Think about it. What man is going to have long fingernails working construction? They wouldn't. They wouldn't. But you see people on jobs, men with dirty fingernails, handling your food, making your sandwiches, and it's disgusting. Another thing, standing over the food, cooking, and you have dandruff. And I don't think a lot of you even think about that. Not just your hands, how your hands look. God forbid, open sores. You've got some type of hepatitis, syphilis, whatever, and you're handling my food and you don't have any gloves on. Okay. Still nasty. Whether the sores open, not open. But dandruff. How many times have you seen somebody with dandruff on their clothes? And when I mean on your clothes, I mean you can see it, especially if you wear something dark, like black or navy blue. You can see it on the collar, on the shoulders of the garment. And you're standing there talking to the person, looking at them about to throw up. The dandruff is flaked up in their hair. It's in their eyebrows, eyelashes, and also on their clothes. And they are talking to you, and you're just about ready to spaz out, like, oh my gosh. And the hair, and the dandruff is so thick. You're thinking, hell, it could walk, like bugs, like, cooties or something. It's all the same to me. Now imagine that person is working in a place where you serve food. Stay woke. Because every day we shed skin cells. So your hair flakes with dandruff, just dead skin that's in your scalp. And some people naturally have, different hygiene issues. Some people have dry scalps, and you'll see that a lot with people who have thick hair. They'll probably accumulate more dandruff than somebody with standard hair. You understand what I'm saying? Hi, Grant. And so you count handling the food, you're bending, you're moving back and forth, grabbing a tomato, grabbing a lettuce, whatever it is you're doing to make the sandwich, the soup, whatever. And now your hair, God forbid you're not wearing a hairnet. I don't think it would matter even with a hairnet, because a hairnet still has holes in it. It's got to be able to breathe. Hello, September. I haven't seen you a couple days. Hair is going to sift off, just like anything. So hairnet or not, hair is going to get out some kind of way. Because you can have hair on your earlobe or, like I said, your eyebrow or anything. So lots of dandruff. That dandruff has to go somewhere. So you're talking about eyebrows, face, ears, neck, shoulders, your clothes, and you're sitting here making my sandwich or preparing my meal at Ruby Tuesday, wherever the place is, it doesn't matter. And now I've got dandruff flakes in my food and I don't even know it. I've seen this before. I was at a fast food restaurant a few years ago. The guy was at the drive-thru. I think it was Burger King. And I looked at him handing me the food, and I just wanted to say, take it back. I don't even give a damn that you didn't make the damn sandwich. You're representing the store no matter what you do in the store. Whether you're just the fry person or you cook the hamburgers, you prep the sandwich. But you're at the drive-thru handing me my food, touching my cup. I don't even want you touching it, and you look nasty. Nasty black fingernails handing me my bag. Well, I got to touch the bag. See, this is what people don't think about. And especially if you want to eat on the run, because a lot of you eat on the run. You don't have time to go, sit down at the restaurant, or maybe you're in between shopping. So you say, okay, I'm going to stop at Burger King, get me something. I'm going to eat it in the car, or you eat while you drive, however you do it. You're still touching the bag. You're still touching that bag. So here's a person at the window. God forbid, as I just said, they're nasty, dandruff flowing off the top of their skull, dandruff flakes, fingernails dirty, and they're now handing you a bag with your food in it, and then handing you your cup. Then God forbid you say, oh, well, I need some special sauce. Because nowadays you have to ask for condiments. They don't give condiments to you now. You have to ask for them. So you say, oh, wait a minute, I need some pepper, some salt, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, whatever the hell you want to ask for. Special sauce. Okay, hold on a minute. So now he's touching all those packages, throwing them in the bag. And guess what? You're eating on the run. You don't have any baby wipes, sanitized wipes in your car. You're now touching the bag. Stay woke. You're touching the cup. You now have to open the bag and pull your food out. Now, we don't know what the person looks like back in the back that made the sandwich. And God forbid he looks as nasty as the person that's working the drive-thru. He's got dandruff. He's got open sores on his hands. His fingernails are dirty. His hands are dirty. He's wiping his hands on his pants, his shirt, went to the bathroom. God forbid what he did in there and came out, didn't wash his hands. Then you wonder why, after you've eaten, your stomach is rumbling. Okay? Your stomach is rumbling. And you're sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, this is my first meal of the day. Why is my tummy upset? Your tummy's upset because germs are airborne. And then also people are touching things such as doorknobs, door handles, countertops, packages, plastic bags, paper bags, and you're also touching those items. And that's why you're sick. And I can tell you about Queen. I have a very sensitive immune system. I can walk in somebody's house and I know there's contaminants in the house because I'll start itching. It could be a thrift store. Naturally, those, the stuff in the thrift stores, they're old, used, dust. They're not dusting stuff properly. Start itching, start sneezing. Of course. Because one, the store is filled with things that didn't belong to you. And you're in there looking, walking through the aisles, looking at stuff. Now you start sneezing because that stuff just came out of somebody's house. Okay. And you're talking about putting a bunch of stuff in a room that hasn't been sanitized, rewashed, and it's just in there. And you're going through it, walking through the aisles. You don't even have to touch anything. But now you're sneezing. God forbid you start coughing. Yeah, because it came from somewhere. And all that dust is accumulating in the space with all this used stuff. But like I said, I can go in somebody's house. I can just start feel itching. I know it's something in there that does not agree with me. My immune system is very sensitive. Very. First thing, something ain't right, I automatically start scratching, start itching, start sneezing. Very reason why I don't like going to people's houses. I do not. I don't want to go in your house. I don't want to sit on your furniture. As queen, I don't even like public places. I don't like sitting in public places. It's a pet peeve of mine. I do not like sitting in public chairs, such as the doctor's office. Public venues where you have to sit down in a chair. I don't care where it is. Just the fact of knowing my clothes are clean, and now I have to sit in a chair where possibly somebody nasty has sat. God forbid they've soiled themselves. I can't see it in the seat. Then I sit down. Next thing I know, I'm walking around smelling like God knows what. And now I'm wondering, like, what's that smell? Well, you just sat in a nasty chair. I'm funny like that. But the point is, this is why we're sick, and this is why we become sick. It's because it's a process of elimination when it comes to buying items, especially when you're dealing with food. Processing food from the place where it first originates. Packaging, processing, somebody has to handle those items. Then it goes through a process of travel. Then it has to be unloaded. Then somebody has to, somebody's touching that. Then it gets off the truck. So see, it's just a process of elimination. So you can't be shocked. Like I just said, you start feeling ill after eating a sandwich, soup, or whatever, because you don't know the process. You don't know who handled it. You don't know if it came tainted from the manufacturer. And you see that a lot. Ice cream, let's say. They may say, we're recalling Bluebell because of salmonella. Well, that's coming 9 times out of 10 from where it was processed. Some type of cross-contamination, where they made the ice cream. May not have anything to do with the place where you bought the ice cream, because you don't know. But I saw this morning and I said, I'm going to share this with the chat. This McDonald's. Now, this is in Australia. So you have to use common sense. Australia, America, it doesn't really matter. People do stupid stuff when they're serving you your food. As I said, processing your food. And I won't doubt that somebody here in America has done something this stupid and ignorant. But to do it right in front of the customers, that's when you know they've been doing a whole lot of stuff. You're bold enough to stand over the French fry containment with a mop, and then you're holding the mop in your hands. This is how crazy this girl is. She's holding the mop in her hands, and the people are going around her getting French fries out of the French fry holder. I'm done. There are no words. Yes, I always kept them in my car. Usually a small bottle of sanitizer in my purse. And then I'll keep, wet wipes in the car. I advise this to anybody. I don't carry big purses anymore, but I always wear a crossover bag because I just, when I run around, I don't want to carry a big purse just for safety reasons. And it gets in the way carrying a big old purse. You don't need a big old purse to go out running around shopping. Everybody's different, but I don't carry big purses anymore. So I always carry a crossover bag. So even in a crossover bag, I may have a little tube of sanitizer and or keep wipes in the car. All right, honey. Thank you. Okay, that's fine. Be careful. But yes, you need the sanitizing wipes or spray or little bottles. I advise everybody to keep them some around, even at the house. Keep your little bottle in a drawer, just or by your nightstand or in your nightstand. Because, some of us like to munch in our beds and do different things. So, you always need wipes or something around. But especially when you're in travel, I advise you keep something on you. It doesn't have to be a big old bottle, but just a small bottle, just to squeeze enough out and keep you some wipes in your car because there are a lot of germs out here. And once you get anything from a store, I don't care what it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be food. It could be just something you bought. Common sense should tell you, somebody touched it. I don't think we really think about that. I think that's why people say, well, when you get your sheets and stuff and underwear, you should, wash those things just because of dye and everything. And sometimes we don't even think about that. We just think, oh, it's new. It's in the packaging. I think you feel more safe if it's in the packaging. You might wear the underwear without washing them because they're, they've been packaged, but you still have to think they've been touched. Because I was reading something recently about some type of, about the wigs. I read this story maybe 2 months ago. I think it was in a YouTube queue. The girl bought a wig and she said her face broke out from the wig. And it was so strange. I can't remember what the disorder was called, but something came from the wig, allegedly, that caused her skin to break out. But it was a weird story. And they traced the hair back overseas or something. I think I talked about it on this network. And it's just a matter of what you believe. Did she get did the wig come tainted from India or wherever, or China, or she had something going on? But when I did research about the skin disorder or whatever it was, you could get it from a person, like person-to-person contact. Yeah, because she was out of Atlanta. So it didn't necessarily have to come from the wig. She could have touched somebody, kissed somebody, and they could have given it to her. But she says she didn't have a problem with her skin or face or anything. It was only until she wore the wig, her face started breaking out, her neck broke out because the wig was long. So all of her neck had all these lesions and stuff on it. It was bad looking. So, she claims it came from the wig. So I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, yeah, the health scores. Yeah, we've had a few places here. They have their moments of bad reviews, leaving stuff out, storing, sanitizer near food. Like, let's say you're prepping the onions, tomatoes, or whatever, and then you put a sanitizer bottle above it on a shelf, or you're putting tomatoes in a bag on the floor. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to put any type of meat product on the floor or bags of fruit, vegetables. Nothing's supposed to be open, exposed on the floor. You're not supposed to have any cleaning products around where you prep the food, cook the food, which doesn't make sense. I mean, spray containers, they're combustible. So it wouldn't make any sense to have a bleach bottle over, let's say, the air fryer or over where you're making the sandwich. It's stupid. But they do stupid stuff. Yeah, from the wig warehouse. Yeah, or whoever made the wig, wherever the hair came from. So they're thinking it could have been the hair was contaminated. Well, then if the hair is contaminated, then that means you didn't wash the hair. Because when you get the hair, after the hair's been cut, it's donated, if it's human hair, you're supposed to sanitize it and treat it. Naturally, you're going to dye it, brown, black, whatever, blonde. So it should go through a process. The hair shouldn't even be tainted because when the hair is donated, it's supposed to be washed and treated. And then, sewn on a weft So I don't understand how the hair could be tainted. But then another suggestion was that perhaps the wig she bought, maybe it was used. For instance, somebody bought the wig, didn't like it, sent it back. They repackaged it, and then she ordered a used wig and didn't know it. So could it be she bought it off of Amazon or something, and the wig was already used by somebody else? Could be. Hey, Shelly. That's the latest, everybody. I found a story that's about Facebook Marketplace. I may bring it later. It's excuse me. It's not a good story. It's a terrible story. I've got that one on the back burner, and then I've got the other one about the young lady that stabbed the mother and son at the grocery store. I was debating if I wanted to talk about that one later, but dermatitis. Okay. But yeah, you have to be careful also buying and purchasing things. I'll probably bring that story a little later this afternoon pertaining to the marketplace killing. But that's just the whole point. You don't know what can, set you off when you purchase items, whether they're used, whether they're new. It's just like anything. You could buy a pair of pants or blue jeans and you put them on, and next thing you know, you're starting to feel funny or you're starting to itch or break out, because they use a lot of chemicals, to dye blue jeans and fabrics. So you don't know. But food, you've got to be able to eat. That's the tricky part about buying food. You have to eat. So you don't know what's going to set you off. The seasoning, the preservatives. We have to have preservatives in order to keep the food, from expiring. So you don't know what has been put in your food. It's all a gamble. It's all a gamble. Everything we do is a gamble. From buying your meds, the prescriptions, over-the-counter meds. You're trusting that what they've done is by protocol. Food, same thing. The process of, like I said, manufacturing, packing it up, transport, all of that. Because the food, it has a protocol. And you just have to pray that when it gets to your location, wherever you're purchasing it, that it's going to be okay. But common sense should tell you we have airborne, germs. We just have germs. And people are handling your food. They're sick, they're sickly, they're coughing and hacking and stuff over your food, going to work with the flu and all type of crazy stuff, and have all type of skin disorders and different things, and they're handling your food, coughing over your food and stuff. And you don't know what they got going on back there in the kitchen. And I think I brought you content. Yeah, I brought you content just a few weeks ago of the guy who did something nasty in the food, but they won't even tell us what he did. But I'm assuming it's not good, whatever he put in the food. I think it's a steakhouse. And so now you're sitting here wondering, like, okay, why won't you tell us what he did? Because the people who live there, I think this is in Missouri, they're thinking to themselves, like, okay, well, I eat at this steakhouse. What did he do? What did he put in the food? Because it can't be but a few things. It's got to either be from the nose, the mouth, his private part, or his backside. Take your pick. What's the veggie spray made of? You're not scared to use that spray on the food? Because my thing is, what's in the spray? Is it alcohol? Small percentage of alcohol? Well, that's my content for today. Vinegar. Oh, okay, vinegar. Okay, it's got vinegar in it. What, vinegar and water? Yeah, you just have to be careful. I mean, and there's just certain things you're just not gonna have control over. Like I said, packaged food, things like that. You don't have no control over that. Packaged food, things in a can. You don't know what's been put in nothing. You're just taking a chance. So it doesn't matter if it's packaged food, frozen food, ice cream. It's all the same. You have no idea. You just gotta pray that nothing terrible happens when you eat it. You don't get an allergic reaction, face breakout, swell up, because anything can be tainted. Meat products, fresh meat, fish, it's all the same. You just have to pray that you won't get sick. This is why when you get your steak, meat, whatever, raw chicken, those things, turkey, you need to rinse them off. Some people don't believe in rinsing them off, but black folks say, we gonna rinse this meat. I think I've seen people put dish detergent. I think I've seen that somewhere on TV where somebody said, I don't care. I'm bathing this bird. I don't think I'm gonna put dishwashing liquid on no chicken or my steak. I'm not going to trust that to rinse off properly. So there's no way I'm going to put dishwashing liquid on a steak or chicken. But you do need to rinse the meat off. I will just go ahead and rinse it off anyway. A lot of people, I think I've read where they said you shouldn't have to rinse it off because once you put it in the pan or the oven, the high temperature would cook any type of germs or, but if the meat's contaminated itself, I don't think it'll matter if you rinsed it off or cooked it at a high temperature. If indeed the bird, the cow was sick meat is sick meat. I don't think it's going to matter about me rinsing it off. My dogs love that breakfast from McDonald's. Well, like I said, you take a chance wherever you eat. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's in Australia, it's here in America. People do crazy things in restaurants. And as I brought you that content a little while ago about that guy putting some type of bodily fluids, is what they said. He's putting bodily fluids in the people's food at the steakhouse. They won't tell us what the bodily fluids were. But it's it is what it is. So you feed your animals store-bought food. I know a lot of times they say it's not a good idea to do that. Feed your animals table food, so your dogs don't get sick from eating table food. Got your dog eating a sausage biscuit and eggs. That's how you spoil the animals, because they know when you're eating. And that's why they come to the table, get under the table. They're hoping you drop some food or you'll feed them from the table. But I think they said it's not good to feed your animals table food, I guess because of their digestive tract. Dog raw diet. Hell, there's probably some people out here eating damn dog food, cat food. I don't think I'd recommend that either. But that's my latest, everybody. I'll come back on later. I'm going to bring you this story coming out of, I believe it's North Carolina, about this marketplace crime. And it's just a cautionary tale that you have to be careful selling items on Facebook Marketplace or on sites in general. Meeting people to sell items or to buy items. I cooked them chicken. I only gave them my breakfast because I ordered from McDonald's. Oh, okay. I knew a lady years ago. She used to boil chicken for her cats. She literally would go buy like chicken strips, raw chicken strips, and she'd boil them for her cats. I thought, shit, Lord have mercy. I remember one of her dogs had become blind from diabetes. The dog was diabetic, and I thought, shit, now that I sit here and think about it, hell, you sitting here feeding them all this meat and stuff. Maybe that's why the dog got sick. I don't know. What was she feeding the dog? Just saying. And that was terrible. Thinking about a dog walking around, can't see. I couldn't have a dog. I couldn't have a blind dog. I think that would just be cruel. Have a dog that couldn't see, and they they're bumping into stuff. That would be cruel. To have a dog with the eyesight gone. Yeah, Elizabeth, I've heard of that. Oh, the dogs eat dry food too. Okay. Well, a lot of people, they think of their animals as their children, as humans. So if they're eating steak and eggs, they'll give their dog steak and eggs, or they'll buy their dog, steak, chicken. But I think experts don't recommend you feeding dogs table food, because naturally we're assuming their digestive system is like ours, but it isn't. Although, when you see animals, wandering around, stray animals, naturally they're not getting fed, proper food, proper dog food, cat food. So hell, they're eating whatever they can get their hands on. Oh, okay. That's fine. But I thank you for joining me. I'm getting ready to check out of here. Let you all get your Sunday morning on. But it was early, and I said, let me get on while it's quiet and the demons are asleep. The demons are asleep. See, they don't come in on these chats, on these topics. So long as you're talking about something else, they're not going to come in the chat. But you talk about that other topic, oh yeah, they're in the chat like Donkey Kong. So I'm going to bring you some updates, American updates, while I'm live. O.J. Simpson, the FBI has released files pertaining to them gathering data back 30 years ago of the shoe print that was at the crime scene at Nicole's house, and those Bruno Magli shoes. They were trying to find shoes, the FBI, that matched the shoe print at the crime scene. And they sent an agent to Italy to the Bruno Magli store to get a match. And I guess, do their comparisons. So that's what's been released right now pertaining to O.J. Simpson. But I also think it's interesting, this information released about O.J. Simpson. Here comes information about Mark Ferman, Mr. Infamous Mark Ferman, who used the N-word so many times in this interview that a woman had done with him before the trial. And she was the one that brought that information out, and they played it in court, blah, 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 it came out. He also was charged with perjury. So Mark Ferman cannot police in the state of California. They have a new reform law. And if you have been arrested for any criminal behavior or acts, you will be stripped of your badge and you cannot police. You will be decertified. So Mr. Mark Ferman has been decertified by the state of California. So I found it so interesting. That information would come out right with this O.J. Simpson information about the FBI files released. So those are two new updates I have. Mark Ferman, O.J. Simpson, and then Kim Porter, who dated P Diddy. She has children with him. Her father has spoken out about the Cassie Ventura P Diddy video, and he feels as if it's despicable what he saw. He said he served in Vietnam, and he wouldn't have even treated an enemy that way. And that he was, shocked when he saw the video, and he did not know P Diddy, was capable of that type of violence. So I don't know if he's telling the truth or not. I don't know if he ever beat up Kim Porter, if he ever was violent with her. But my thing is, you just don't wake up one day beating up some woman, some young girl, if you hadn't been doing it already. Now, maybe Kim had violent he was violent with her. Maybe she didn't tell her parents. I don't know. But the guy who she was dating, they said there was an incident where they were in Paris and Sean found out about him or whatever and broke a chair over his head. And the guy's mother said, you need to get out of this entertainment business because it's dangerous. Well, it wasn't necessarily the entertainment business that's dangerous. He's the damn fool. He's the damn fool. Sean Combs. He's just self-entitled. That's all. He's just self-entitled. I think this guy was a music producer or something like that. But anyway, he was dating Kim. And allegedly, that's what they're saying. And this was an incident that happened in Paris, France. So he was jealous, I guess, found out. So he's just a jealous-hearted person. And that's also what the Kim Porter's father said. I believe he's a jealous person. He probably is. He's vengeful. He's jealous. He's ignorant. He's childish. He has a lot of issues. Then you count the sadism, dealing with, prostitutes and hiring people for sexual interludes with the women and men and, filming the people having sex, himself having sex. He's just a sadist. So to me, Sean Combs is just an all-around sadist. You could probably just put a bunch of statements on a piece of paper and say, hey, check the box for what you think he's done. And then all the damn boxes will probably be full. Well, there are drugs involved. He admitted that in the apology to Cassie. I was effed up back then. I went to rehab, blah, blah, blah. But yet, when they did the raids a few months ago, your friend, Brendan Paul, he had drugs in his bag. So why would he have drugs in the bag on your airplane, on your jet or whatever? We're supposed to believe what? The drugs were just for him. Probably not. And for them to say he's the drug mule, somebody's put that information out, or, it could be sensationalized, but I won't doubt that Sean still uses drugs. And that guy had those drugs in his bag for Sean and whomever to use. Because why would you be carrying drugs in your bag on somebody else's private plane? Why would you do that? You think it's okay to put drugs in your bag on somebody's private plane? You don't do it on a commercial flight. So why would you do it on this one? Oh, because it's in the air. You think there's no regulations? Oh, I'll just carry my cocaine and my gummies. He won't mind. Yeah, he probably got them for Sean. He's probably a user as well. Well, I know, Raquel. He didn't even. Well, my thing is the apology is just because he was caught. He didn't even address Cassie in the apology. Once again, he's talking about himself. I was effed up. I was effed up back then. So still you're making an excuse. I was effed up back then. You're still effed up. There's no past tense. You're probably the same person that beat up that girl, that hit that guy over the head with a chair, all those other allegations of you allegedly shooting that girl at the nightclub, but he wasn't arrested for that. Bribing people, bribing a hotel person for the video. As I just said, if you were to put all these statements on a piece of paper, check the boxes would be full. Because I think he's done a little bit of everything. Drugs, alcohol abuse, violence, bribery, blackmail, threats, prostitution, soliciting prostitutes, bisexuality with the men. I think he's done it all. And I feel like this. You can do whatever you want. You can sleep with whoever you want to sleep with. But when it's violence, coercion, sexual assault, that's totally different. That's totally different. So you count those allegations, the worst ones, coercion, sexual assault, bribery, He's disgusting. It's sad because I think he got messed up from that old white guy that convinced him to leave Howard. I can't think of the SOB name. Oh, I don't know. I didn't know anything about that. Yeah, I read that he left Howard, I guess, to join the record label. Well, my thing is still, even if somebody introduced you into something, I don't care what it is, SA, drugs, it's still a choice. It's still a choice. You don't have to use drugs if you don't want to. You don't have to drink if you don't want to. You don't have to join somebody in sexual escapades or rape, gang rape. That's a choice. That's a choice. That's a choice. There's no way I would sit here and listen to anybody make up an excuse to say, well, I went on and did it because the other guys were doing it or the other females were doing it. That's your dumbass. You're going to go here and assault a person because you see other people doing it or they're talking about it. You should know you're going to carry the charge too. So there's no way I would involve myself in any type of crime like that and just say I felt intimidated or I just went along with it. I really didn't want to do it. So you're willing to sacrifice your freedom because some other guys wanted to sexually assault a female or a child. That's crazy. He was exposed to all that. Took advantage of him, and that was all the new. Yeah, see, I don't know anything about it. Yeah, but you can't rationalize in your head that he probably already was tainted before he got into business. Because like I said, you just don't wake up sexually assaulting people. You've seen that somewhere. You've either witnessed it or it was done to you. Because we've learned this about rapists, pedophiles. Most of them have been sexually assaulted as children. They have witnessed sexual assaults, violence. You just don't wake up raping people. I don't care what other people are talking about. I could hear a story. That don't mean I'm getting ready to go out and do it because I heard somebody talking about it. Well, why would I do that? I think Sean was already tainted before he went to college. And you see this a lot with young people, especially young men who engage in sadism. That shit comes from somewhere. That comes from somewhere. You've been exposed to that. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some weak-minded people who go along with stuff, but people are going to judge you still the same, even if there's nothing in your past pertaining to child molestation or exposure to porn. They'll still say, "Well, why would you do it? Why would you gang rape a girl? You don't have any violence in your past. Why would you go along with what these guys wanted to do?" What are you going to say? Well, I felt intimidated. That's not an excuse. That's lame. That's why parents need to talk to their children about things. Parents need to talk to their children about bullying, coercion. Don't go jump in the pot with people doing things illegal. Because this is how a lot of young people get wrapped up in the drama and mischief. And next thing you know, now you have a criminal record because you went along with what people were doing when you knew it was wrong, but you went along with it anyway. And that's what children don't understand, young people as well. When you stand before a jury of 12 members, they don't care about your life. You might get 1 or 2 out of 12 that are going to have empathy for you. But in the end, if you're talking about sadistic behavior, murder, rape, all of that, bondage, torture, nobody cares. And they don't have to. Because what they have to tell themselves, if I let this person go because I have some empathy for him or her, or I feel like they had a jacked up childhood, whatever, I let them go, they will have the propensity to go right back out to the street and commit the crime again. Okay? So now imagine you let a person go because you felt sorry for him or her, or you felt like they were bullied into doing something. Now you look up 2-3 years later, they're right back in front of the judge for something worse than what you let them go on a charge. And that's what you're seeing right now in America, the high recidivism. Judges keep letting them bond out, pretrial release, all of those type of bullshit. We got some other laws on the books about letting people out on, their own recognizance. So that means they just sign out. So my thing is, if you're going to let people sign out, no bond, what is the purpose of even arresting them? Just let them come on out. And then they go right back out from the jail. And you see this all the time. While waiting to go to trial, they're still doing stuff. Fraud, selling drugs, thievery, whatever it is. They still do the same thing that they caught the charge for. Because that's what they're used to. That's what they're used to. I just feel like there's just certain people that don't care. And Sean, to me, he doesn't care about anything. That's my opinion. Okay. You're 40-something years old beating up a woman. You don't care about anything. You've shown the world you don't care. Because there comes a point, if you've been doing these, whack-ass behaviors as a young man in your 20s or whatever, I'll even say 30s, at some point, you need to stop. So if you continue to do this behavior in your 40s, there's no way I'm going to look up and say, yeah, I think this person's going to change when they get 52, 53. Probably not. Probably not. And I do believe the FBI has evidence to other nefarious behavior by Sean. And I'm sure they took out a lot of stuff from his house. And I'm sure he kept videos that he's, filmed himself and other people, women, men, or whomever, because he's a voyeur. He's a sadist. And he needs that for confirmation. That's the whole purpose of filming. It's confirmation. Just like with the Rex Heuermann situation. You have all this data you've kept, buried guns, this and that in the ground. It's because you don't want to let go of it. Your keepsakes. Why'd I leave? Yeah, I left because I didn't want to live in the city. There's personal reasons why I left as a young child. I went back and lived as an adult shortly, but it didn't work out then either. So I came back. It's just easier living in Tennessee. I mean, I wouldn't mind to stay in Chicago as a younger person, but I'm in a different place now and I'm spoiled. I don't want to live in a place where, you can't park your car anywhere. You got to move the car. Your houses are close together. I don't want to live like that. I like being able to go outside a parking lot and get in my car. I don't like off-street parking. I don't want to walk far to your house to park my car. I want to be able to get in my car from the door. And when you're in a place like Chicago, New York, you don't have that luxury. You don't have that luxury. You may have to park around the damn corner because there's nowhere to park. I don't want to do that. Especially when you're living in a city with a lot of high crime. You're getting out your car, unloading stuff, carrying bags of stuff. Easy target to get robbed, which I understand people live like that in the city. I don't want to live like that. I'm used to living here. I like the way we do things down here. As far as, like I said, we have a few places in the city have off-street parking, but most places are residential. People have driveways, so you park your car in their driveway. I don't want to live anywhere off-street parking. I don't want to climb stairs to an apartment, condo. If I was to move back to Chicago, it would be I would only live there a few months out of the year. And I would only live there during the summer to fall months. So if let's say I was able to acquire some money and I could buy a condo in Chicago, I would live in an apartment building with the parking garage under the building only. I'm not parking no car off the street. That's just quaint. Well, I live in a place now where you can hear the neighbors, smell everything. It's annoying as fuck, but it's life. You do what you have to do. But I'm just saying, I can live in an apartment here in the South, but here in the South, apartment buildings have parking lots. Up north, they don't necessarily have parking lots in their apartment buildings. You have to park off the street. I don't want to park off a street. I just can't do that. Oh, Elizabeth, I would love to come to Georgia. That's where I want to be. I told the chat that yesterday. I said, all I need is one good role. I need one good role in a movie, and I'm going to take that lump sum of money, and I'm going to buy me a house in Georgia. That'd be the first thing I buy. It's a down payment on a house or a condo. I will be down there, honey. Jimmy on the spot. Yeah, and then too, the weather here is not bad. Like the weather, it's been up and down the past 2 weeks here. Hot, warm. But like today, I think it's supposed to be rainy. It's been raining just now. And I think it's only going to be 75 today. So that's nice for June. 75, cloudy. It's raining today. So, we've been up to 85, 88, whatever. Then you see like today it drops down. The temperature's going to be lower. You never can tell what the weather's going to be in Tennessee. Oh, yeah, but I'd love to come to Georgia. That would be wonderful. Yeah, see, that's my point. Who wants to own a parking space? I don't want to throw away money like that. When you live in a city, you throw away a lot of money. That's why the people are so miserable. They like the city. They like the entertainment. They like to be able to go out. They like the functions. They like to be able to, what the city offers. Shopping, eating. But what people don't think about is when you live in a place like New York, Chicago, LA, a lot of your money is going back to the city. You're paying high rent, high utility bills, parking spaces, all that type of stuff. High registration for your cars, emissions tests, all that type of shit. It's like in Chicago, you got to pay so many months for emission tests. We don't do that in Tennessee. You don't have to pay for emissions on your car. You just pay your little stupid registration, get that damn sticker, you put it on your tag. That's it. You don't pay for a sticker for the tag, a sticker for the car. That's out west, up north. We don't pay for all that. You go to the clerk office, show your registration or where you got the car, boom. She gives you a sticker to put on the tag. That's it. You don't come back for another year. That's it. All these stickers on your car. That's why people, your money can't go far unless you have a high-paying job and you live in a city. And we already know that most cities, you really need to be making over $100,000 to be comfortable. I saw that about 2 years ago. To live in Georgia, Atlanta, they say you need to make at least $100,000 to be comfortable. I agree. Because when you got to compartmentalize car note, car insurance, cell phone, mortgage, water, gas, light, depending on where you live. So that's why if I had a higher income and I'm going to live in an apartment building, go live in a building that has everything included in the rent. At least have free cable. You get a skybox, ask them what's free. What do you offer free? Oh, we offer cable. Great. That's one less bill you have to pay. I think a lot of apartments, especially in high rises, they should offer free cable Wi-Fi. Hell yeah. It's like you're staying in a hotel anyway. You're staying in this expensive skybox. You're giving somebody several $1,000s a month for rent or a mortgage. You should have free Wi-Fi. You should have free cable. Why not? Because I don't think anybody should be paying a lot for Wi-Fi. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know. Well, some TV doctor has been found dead in Greece. Michael Mosley went missing in Simi, Greece. Found dead. Body found, Lord of mercy. Hello, Penny. Here's my New York friend. Yeah, so, you know, like I said, city cost of living's higher. Naturally, they have cheaper places to shop. That's the flip side of living up north. Big cities, always somewhere cheap to shop. You still got your Ross, your dollar stores, your this, your that. But your mortgage is high, your rent is high, your electricity bills, those things are high. The parking is high. Parking stickers and all that registration, that's high. You toll bills are high. So you got to count all that kind of stuff. You park your car in the wrong place in Chicago, New York, your car gets towed, get a boot on it. Now you got to go over there and wrangle with those damn people. I don't want to live like that. I'm simple. I don't want to argue with a person about a damn parking space and a boot on a car. To me, all those things are too stressful. I don't want to deal with that. That's why a lot of people, I think, in the city, they don't even buy a car. They eventually make enough money to buy a car. They don't buy. I know my mother, she never drove. I think my mother was afraid of cars. She didn't mind being a passenger, but she was never going to go take a driver's test. She was never going to drive a car. I mean, this woman died sickly, walking around the city of Chicago with thousands of parcels in her hand, as they called her, the little bag lady, you know, because she liked to shop a lot. But a lot of people live like her up north, you know. It's just the way people live. Penny, you're so funny. Yeah, but a lot of people don't drive in the city. A lot of people down here don't drive. You'd be surprised how many people that live here in Tennessee don't have a car. Now, I'm going to be truthful with you. As I said, living here is totally different than living up north. You have to have a car down here. You need a car. You need a car. Because the bus doesn't go everywhere. And you don't want to be out here walking on the side of the highway, side of a street, carrying bags from Target, Walmart. God forbid you have children, you're pushing them in a stroller, you got 16 bags, you don't have but two hands, you need a car. Just certain things you need a car for, and I don't care if you live in New York or you live in Tennessee. When it's time to grocery shop, it's time to go shopping, it's time to buy new bedding, it's time to buy your children's school clothes, you need a car. You go in this store, that store, go to the mall, load the car up. Now you want to go to another store. You want to make all your runs while you're out. You can't do that on a bus and train. You can't walk around with 15, 16 shopping bags. I don't recommend it. Because to me, you're asking to be robbed walking around the city streets with 10, 15 bags from Foot Locker, Old Navy. That's a dumb idea. Now, mind you, people do this. They do this, though. You know, we did it for years growing up. Your mother's walking around with you on the bus to train with, you know, I've said lots of shopping bags, but times are different. People are crazier. I personally don't recommend riding around on public transportation with a bunch of bags. I saw some kids on a bus recently. They had Foot Locker bags. And this older white lady was talking to the kids and she said, "Oh, Foot Locker had a sale." And the little girl was like, "No." And you could tell these were younger kids. I mean, these girls look young. And they were out riding around on public transportation with a bunch of Foot Locker bags. I don't recommend that. All it takes is for somebody to get off the bus. When they get off the bus, walk up to them, knock them down, steal their bags. And people are going to assume You spent some money. You coming out of Foot Locker? There's no way I'm going to sit here and believe you bought what? Some $30 shoes out of Foot Locker? Probably not. Probably not. And they had several Foot Locker boxes. I know there was more than three boxes of shoes in each girl's hand. They had several boxes of shoes. I would not be getting on the bus with Foot Locker bags. Oh, flowers and plants. Well, you do what you have to do when you're in the city. That's why I said that's the only bad thing about living in the city is you can't maneuver like you would in a place like here in Tennessee. You get your truck, your SUV. You understand what I'm saying? You can go pull up to the store, Home Goods, thrift store, wherever you're buying your item, load your car up, take it to your house, pull it in your driveway, unload your truck, your car. Up north, it's not like that. You're going to go to the store, get it in the truck, the whatever. You still got to, God forbid, find a parking space. If you don't have a garage, let's say you live in an apartment, now you have to pull your car, SUV off the street. Pray you get a parking space close to your door. Now imagine you bought a nice chair from Home Goods and you don't get a parking space. Now you've got to figure out how you're going to get that chair from your SUV to your damn apartment. And God forbid you live in like a walk-up, which most buildings are made like that. 3 flights, 4 flights. You have more flights in New York. You might have a 5th floor walk-up in New York. Now you don't have a parking space, so now you're around the corner. So now you got to carry a chair. See, that queen ain't gonna do. I couldn't do that. Hi, Skylar, sweetie. How are you, babe? Yeah, that's what you're going to be doing. Back to the train. Exactly. Back to the bus, back to the train. So that's what I'm saying. So you want to go grocery shopping for the month or however you shop. You're going to have a lot of bags. Exactly. You don't want to be on the train and bus with a bunch of bags. You have to buy those, them little, those carrying bags you can get from Ross. And they're a nice size. You can stuff a lot of stuff in them. You can get them from Ross, Dollar Tree. I advise people buying some of those bags if you know you're going to be carrying a lot of stuff. And even if you drive, I still say get those bags because it's easier to put your little plastic Kroger bags inside of those and carry them in your house, even if you have a house with a driveway. It just keeps you from having to make a lot of trips back and forth to your car. And you see people doing that anyway. When you go to the grocery store, you see people with the canvas bags. They carry those bags because it makes it easier to load out your SUV, your car, to go in the house, so you don't have to make so many trips back and forth to your car. Oh, it's horrible, Penny. Penny knows she lives in New York. That's what I'm saying. Everybody don't live the same. Me personally, I'm comfortable in Tennessee. I'm used to Tennessee. I'm used to Tennessee ways. Of course, there are things about Tennessee I don't care for, but it ain't really much. It's not really much. I'm used to the life here. I'm comfortable. And that's what I like. I'm older now. I'm comfortable. I'm not a 30-year-old anymore. I'm not a 20-year-old. The energy I had back then, I don't have now. So my patience is short as far as my time. I value my time. That's one pet peeve I have. Besides the dirty fingernails. I don't like my time messed with. I mean, I am super OCD about really everything. And it's terrible, but that's just who I am. I don't like rumbling with stuff. I don't like fooling with the cell phone. Don't call me, bothering me, asking me 50,000 questions about something. And anybody that does business with me, I'm hell on wheels. All that email BS and do you have this? Oh, need a username for this. I mean, everything you deal with from cable, Wi-Fi, landlord, same question. Do you have an email? You need to set up a username, password for the simplest of stuff. It's like, oh my God, you want me to go off? Please don't ask me about a username, password. I hate going into the cell phone, trying to set up a username, password, just so I can use your database. It's stupid. So stupid. I was trying to log into something important the other day, and it says, oh, you have to redo this every 3 months. And I was like, man, I don't got time for this BS. I don't got time for this. So in order to cut down on paper, I choose to use, God forbid, your database. Now you're telling me it's got to be updated every 3 months. I don't want to update something every 3 months. For what? Why should I have to update username, password every 3 months? And that's another thing. You can't use your same username, password for everything that you have to log on to for a business, government, this, that, and the other. And now you've got to write all this stuff down because you're going to have a different user password for cable, Wi-Fi, God forbid, electric company, whoever the hell wants you to use a username, password. Everything you sign up for, they want a username and a password. All of this stuff with the apps for your phone, for your TV, you need an email. You need a phone number. Oh, it's case sensitive. Please use a numbered lowercase, higher case, exclamation point. Use a symbol. You can't even get into stuff because then they'll say, try again. Man, you talk about making me pissed off. I hate fooling with that type of shit. It's just stupid. Yeah, it's ridiculous having to go through all of that stuff. Right now, I have a whole iPad that's barely been used. I bought it a few years ago. Matter of fact, I bought it from the donation monies from Christmas 21. When the fans donated money to the network, I said, let me get an iPad, because people kept saying, well, you need to have something extra, to stream from, or, do your lives and stuff, have an extra device. I've got a whole fucking iPad I can't even get into. This damn thing, I don't know what's her problem. She won't even let me in to hook to Wi-Fi. That thing is like brand new because I barely used it because the buttons were so hard on the side of it. I could be playing something from the iPad on the live and I couldn't even shut the volume down. It would just run. I couldn't even, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't even use the down button because they were so hard. So I would never use it. I'd use something, I'd use a spare phone or something to play audio. So it was like, that was money wasted. Now, past couple months, I said, let me try to see if I can use this damn iPad. I can't even connect it to the Wi-Fi. I can't. So I think I took it out a few months ago. I was in a store and I was trying to connect it. I can't remember if it didn't work or not. So then they were like, well, you need to call the Amazon people. So I've called Amazon. They couldn't help. Talked to my network carrier for Wi-Fi. They couldn't help. So I said, well, you need to take this damn thing back to Target. Maybe somebody at Target can help you get in it, connected to Wi-Fi, because for some reason it won't connect. I don't know if it's because of my Wi-Fi plan. You got to have a certain type of plan to connect it, because they were saying, well, certain carriers won't let you hook up so many devices, because you got to think, I've got 2 TVs connecting to the Wi-Fi. I've got this computer connected to the Wi-Fi, so that's 3. I've got my cell phone connected to the Wi-Fi, that's 4. So it might be I can't connect to the Wi-Fi because I've got all 4 devices interchangeably connected to the Wi-Fi. I don't know. I don't know much about that stuff. And stuff like that stresses me out. I don't want to be bothered. Oh yeah, email and all that up to date. Yeah, that's what's crazy about Google. You better make sure you got the right damn phone number too on your Google account. Your ass gets locked out of there, you can't get back in there. That happened 2 years ago. Took 2 weeks to get back into Google. Fooling around, trying to go into the GoFundMe app because I was when I was talking about the Quentin Simon case, I was trying to go into GoFundMe to see how much the GoFundMe was or something for the case. And then somehow my phone screen started jumping and it locked me out of Google going into the GoFundMe. Because with GoFundMe, when you have to go in there to try to, look at any information, it was wanting my own personal information, which I thought, why? It's none of your business. You don't need to know who the hell I am. I'm just trying to see what the damn number is on the GoFundMe. And for some reason, whatever I typed in personally, name and stuff, my screen started jumping and it locked me out of Google. It went from GoFundMe app, it jumped into X, which was Twitter at the time. It went from that to Twitter to, I want to say Instagram too. It was just jumping screens and apps. It was weird. The phone was doing some weird stuff and boom, it went back to Google. And then it said sign in. And I couldn't sign in because the number I had acquainted with Google was a number that I didn't have working at the time. So I had 2 phones and I didn't have that number working. So then I had to go get that number and switch my regular phone number out and put that old number of the other phone onto this phone so I could damn get back into Google. I was so damn pissed off. I was like, man, I ain't got time for this. I don't have time for this nonsense. And I like that old number I had because I can tell you the truth. Ever since I switched those numbers so I could get back into Google, I've had nothing but spam calls on this line from that other number, from my other phone. And I never had that problem because the company who I have my service with, they can block all those spam calls and they have high security, a good security on their phone service. So I never had all those spam calls before. I didn't start getting those spam calls and all these people calling from the firefighter association and all that old nonsense until I switched that damn older number onto this phone. And I regret it, but I needed to get back into Google. I had to be able to get back into Google because my YouTube, is attached to the Google. So say what? I haven't had a phone for over 2 years. It's an issue most times without one when logging into multi-devices like TVs to tablets. Yeah, they want send a code to cell phone. Heck no, send an email, heifer. Girl, you a fool. I'm ashamed, but I actually took a hammer to one of my laptops. Oh, God, you all are sick. It was during a difficult time. Gigi said, wait a minute, she said not the hammer. Oh, God, I love it. Hey, I'm telling you, I hate this shit. I hate all of this. I'm telling you, even medical, that was an issue with had some medical business, and they're worrying the fuck out of me about a damn email, username, password. And I told them, I said, are we really doing this? So what am I going to get denied health care because I don't remember a username and password? That's what you're telling me? Queen, And I agree with what the person in the chat is saying. You were going through a difficult time. That's where I was a few months ago I had a lot going on a few months ago. I was high stressed. And you're sitting here debating with me about a damn username and a password, saying, well, we need you to get into this so we could access this, this, and this. And you know what I told her? I said, lady, I got a lot going on right now. I am not about to shuffle through paperwork looking for username, passwords. I don't feel like going in my little bag, digging up thousands of pieces of paper. That was the mood I was in. So I've thrown away a lot of old papers, months ago. Then I was in transition here recently. I went through a few weeks ago all my old paperwork, receipts, everything. Pull that little makeup bag out. I got this pretty little bag. It's a zip, like carrying makeup bag. And I keep all my receipts and documents in there. And I went through that thing paper by paper by paper. And I never felt so much better. I got me a notebook, bought me a new notebook, and I put down all new username passwords for everything I deal with. Because I'm meticulous like that. I said, write all this stuff down. Rewrite down every username, password. So the next time somebody calls you, worrying the hell out of you about a fucking username, password, you just have to go dig out this damn book, pull it all out. So there I was going through all that paperwork, throwing away paperwork, and then rewriting down all username, passwords for, whoever I deal with that requires it. And then here I had something the other day. I've got informed delivery on my mail, so I can see what mail is coming in. And I be damned. Before I went live yesterday, I went and checked the mail to see if the letter came from where it's supposed to be coming from. It wasn't in the mailbox. And I thought, well, where's this damn letter at? So now I can't even read the letter, because when I went in there the other day to try to read the letter, because they send me they'll send it through the app. You've got to redo your password. So I got to go back in and redo that again, because it said something about you have to update your password every 3 months. And I thought, here we go with this bullshit. So that's the whole purpose of having that app. I can read letters and information without having to check my mailbox. Because informed delivery said, mail coming to you soon. So it should have been in the mail yesterday, because I think the letter was dated the 6th or the 7th. So, I don't know if it's the mail's late or what, but I could read it from the app, but I can't get in the app because it wouldn't let me in with the username and password I had for it. I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm sick of this junk. It's really a headache with all that password stuff. Yeah, it is. Because everybody you deal with now, they want you to set up a username and a password for the most simple things. I don't get it. And then they'll have the nerve to ask you, well, do you remember your username, your password? And it's like, lady, do you know how many username passwords I have for everything from Wi-Fi to business to this to that? I mean, it's all the same. They're going to make you have one for Google next. Well, you do have to have either phone number or email for Google. Then they'll ask you for Google. Do you have an alternate email? And you're like, oh, Lord Jesus. Makes my head hurt. I bought a book just for passwords. On the front of the notebook, it says my shit. It's so bad. I wish we could go back to paper. Well, Holly, paper, I don't like paper. I don't like collecting paper. So I appreciate the apps. I appreciate them trying to make it easy. But the problem is just the obvious. All that SHIT is case sensitive. And they'll tell you that when you're putting in a password, they tell you how to put it in. It's case sensitive. So you try again. That's where the problem comes in. Is the system is sensitive. So you've got to keep trying to put in a letter, a symbol, a name, and you do this God knows how many times until they accept it. That shit gets old. That's what happened with the COVID. When everybody was trying to log in 4 years ago so you can get your COVID check, we're not even going to talk about that. Sitting there minute for minute for minute, trying to set up a fucking password so I could get my COVID check. And I didn't get my COVID check in 2020. Got it a whole year later. And I really paid for it to get my own money. I just found it at the tax office. So I thought, well, I'm paying to get my own COVID check. This is crazy. Bullshit. I forget answers to security questions. Well, that's why, Raquel, you have to write it down. Anytime you go into an app that's asking you for security questions, you might as well have a notebook and paper right then. Don't try to remember it because you're going to forget all about it. Just like anything, cable, Wi-Fi. You set all that stuff up at that time, but as time goes by, you don't sit here and dwell on that stuff. Just like your codes for your banking and all that stuff. God forbid you've got a bank card or you got a cash app. Naturally, you may not use the same numbers. Well, you got to remember that. You got to remember that stuff. Because, cash app cards are sensitive. You can't run that cash app card 2 times. It'll shut that damn card down because they'll think it's fraud because you don't remember the password, your passcode. I had that happen one Thanksgiving. Stupid person working behind the counter pressed in the wrong amount for the gas. And I didn't have but a certain amount on the card. And then I couldn't use the Cash App card again because it shut the card down because the stupid person pressed in the wrong amount. I just thought, this is ridiculous. But that's to guard you too. If you have a bank card or a credit card or Cash App card, they're watching those cards and they can see, okay, you should know your PIN. So if it's taking too long to go through, they'll shut it down for a day or so just to guard fraud. So I get that. But yeah, I'm over this. I'm over all this password stuff. I could care less. I don't want to deal with anything. I don't want to deal with anything else with a password. Username, password. If I try to set one several times. Yeah, and then they say that too. Don't use the same password for different apps and accounts and stuff. Which I understand that because if you, God forbid, you get around the wrong person and they think they know your password, they're just going to assume you're probably using, that password for everything. Because it is easier to use the same password for stuff. That way you can remember. But I guess they feel like, well, you get around the wrong people or somebody gets access to your accounts, a hacker or something. They may try to use, that password for different things such as your banking or your apps or whatever your business dealings are. And God forbid you do use the same password. Now they can get into all your personal stuff. All your personal stuff. Funny how all the fraudsters can get into accounts, but honest folks can't get into their own. Right, Penny. That's true. That's so true. You're right. Hacking the accounts, bank accounts, different things. You're right. But you can't get into your own account. And you could actually be using the right password. I've had that happen dealing with some businesses the past couple months. I couldn't get onto their websites. They wouldn't take the passwords I use. And then the woman would give me their own password. They'd make up a password and it still wouldn't go through. I thought, man, this is crazy. Yeah, they gave me their own username, password. They set it up and still couldn't get on the website. I was like, man, I don't have time for this. This is crazy. Digits to a landline from 1977 or something. If it's a 4-digit numerical. What are you talking about? Digits to a landline, 1977. Well, I've got to go on this website. I'll probably check it. I'll probably go in there tomorrow because I think they don't allow you to go on the website on the weekends because there's nobody, I guess, accessing. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but this one website I deal with, you can't access it on the weekends for some weird reason. You can only go in on a weekday. So I'll go in there tomorrow and fool with it. If not, I'll just try to call the people directly and see what is the mail that they sent. Because it seems like it's always something. Like a PIN code. A PIN code for what? Yes, Penny. Very good, peaceful moment. Peaceful day. Hey, Unicorn. Use digits to an old 1977 phone number. When they want a 4-digit, I got that mastered. The last 4 digits to my landline from 1977 or sometime way back. Oh, okay. But you say I have a fold-up wagon. Luminous, what are you talking about? What do you mean you got a fold-up wagon? I'm good. How are you? I'm great. Drinking me some coffee that I put too much creamer in. Messed up my coffee. But other than that, I'm great. I said, well, it's early. I'll go live, talk about this crazy story. Check out of here. I was going to come back on live a little bit later. I'm not going to hold you all, but because I didn't plan on going this long, I was going to just do about 30-minute live. But as you see, I'm over an hour into it. So for those coming into this live stream, earlier we were talking about this story in Australia where a girl, a female, was standing over the fryer where they hold the fries at McDonald's with a mop. You can check the New York Post if you want to see the picture, the video. She's standing there with a mop in her hand, in both hands, drying a mop. She just mopped the floor. She then detaches the mop from the stick and holds it in her hands, both hands, over the French fry warmer. Crazy, just a crazy nut. Unicorn Milkshaker. That's an odd username there. Where do you all come up with these usernames? And what are you, EMT under PSI 365? What is that about? Yeah, she's standing there holding the damn mop. I mean, oh, Lord have mercy. Just a fool. Knowing people have to eat. Then they said workers were going around her getting the French fries to put in people's bags, orders. And somebody said something to her like, hey, you need to get that from up under there. It could catch fire. Well, that'd be her dumbass. It wasn't going to catch fire, I don't guess. She didn't have it like way up high under the lamps, but it's still disgusting. be standing there with a mop in a public restaurant where people are ordering food, eating food, and you're standing there with a mop over the warmer, and the French fries are, inches away from the mop. Although the French fries may have been sitting in the back because it wasn't filled with French fries, but it doesn't matter. It's hygienic. She knows better. And then they talked about, oh, we've addressed the situation, we've retrained everybody, but you didn't say you fired the lady. So is the lady still working there? But the lady who filmed the video, she should know if she's still working there because she filmed it. So I would have gone back in there. I would have went back a week later. If that lady was still in there, I would have filmed her standing there, and I'd have uploaded that video to Yahoo News or whoever and said, oh, yeah, she's still here working. So they didn't get rid of her. Crazy. Luminous, you're a mess. I knew it was EMT associated. Thank you for your service because it's not for most folks. Yeah, I had to just really chop up the username when I saw it. I thought, wait a minute, chop it up, EMT. Okay, so you work as EMT. Well, yes, thank you. I hope she ain't there anymore, all for views, I bet. Well, Unicorn, how can it be for views? That's your job. She's too lazy to take the mop and put it outside. The mop would dry faster outside. Put the mop outside. If you feel like you need it dry quick. And if you have the mop bucket that has the, the little stringer thing in it that you put the mop in and you squeeze it and pull it out so it doesn't have all the water in it. Most stores have mop buckets like that has the stringent in it. So I don't know why she's touching the nasty mop anyway. That's crazy. You shouldn't even be touching the damn mop with your hands. Oh, you're not a unicorn. Okay. Well, that's good to know. September says that thing will sour. Well, that's what I'm saying. Most restaurants, businesses that have utility rooms and mops, the mop is usually in a bucket that has the stringer where you push it in the thing, you push it down the lever, and it sucks all the water out of the mop. What McDonald's doesn't have a mop bucket like that? So you have no reason to be touching the mop, let alone taking it over there to the French fry warmer and putting it under the damn lamps to dry a mop. You can check it out for yourself. And you can come back and talk to the queen and say, this heifer that lost her damn mind. I'm gonna see if the post has a video in YouTube. That's what I meant to do before I went live, was to see if they have if YouTube has a video of this crazy woman with this damn mop. Because the lady filmed it. She filmed the video. Moral of the story, don't come to Australia and eat macas. Oh, unicorn, please. 40 minutes, then I quit. Pity. Sweet Lord, you have to be trained to know not to do that. We are not going to make it, y'all. We ain't made it. That's why we're so messed up. Cedar mop, I haven't. What's a cedar mop, Skylar? Oh, TikTok. Yeah, it's on TikTok. Feel free to check it out, or you can just go pull up Google New York Post. They have the video. The lady that filmed it, her last name is Baratak. Let me see. Let me pronounce her name correctly. Hold on. Let's see. Crazy bat. And I mean, she got a good view of her too. Because she's standing right at the counter filming her. I mean, the view is bullseye. a bullseye view of her. She's got it on video. It's just ridiculous. I mean, the picture is clear. Oh, she's got it up high, the mop. Forgive me. The mop is up high under the lamp. Because I said, oh, I can't remember if it was, I didn't think it was that high. So I had to relook at the picture. Oh, yeah. She's got the mop way up under the bulbs. Yeah, she's crazy. She's a nutbag. And let me see. The French fries, they're the ones sitting way in the back. But the point is, their tongues sitting in something. So that would be where the fries would sit. So you take the scooper and scoop the fries out. So yeah, it's directly over the bin where the fries sit. Because I see tongs sitting out of the thing. Yeah, she's a nut. She's a damn nut. Let me see the lady. The lady who filmed this, her name is Debbie Barakat. Barakat. This happened in Brisbane, outside of Brisbane, Australia, on April 4th. She saw the employee casually holding the mop inches from the hot lights and fries. So she's got the mop up high underneath the bulbs over the bin where the French fries would be. So excuse me for saying she didn't have the mop up high. Re-looking at the photo, yes, the mop is way up high underneath the bulbs. She probably didn't, Penny. She probably didn't get fired. Yeah, stringer. That's what I'm saying. Most businesses have mop buckets with the stringer. So I don't know why she would want to touch the dirty mop. Everybody knows nobody wants to touch a dirty mop. You don't want to touch a mop at your house. That's why people buy those Swiffer things and those old cheap old mop things so they don't have to touch it. Because mops are nasty. So I don't know what would possess this heifer to take the mop off of the stick and then and stand there over the French fry warmer and hold it up. It's like, are you this ignorant? Who cares if the mop is wet? It's a mop. It's supposed to be wet. Go take the mop and put it outside. If you weren't about drying it, put it outside. Jesus, well. Okay, unicorn. Apparently she was trying to dry the mop. Well, that's not where you dry the mop at. You don't dry the mop over the French fry holder. Oh, okay, Barb. Well, that's my content for today. I'm going to come back on later. I'm going to discuss something out of North Carolina. I think that might be my topic. I'll decide before I go live if I want to talk about the Facebook Marketplace incident. She may have fried Toowoomba mini fries. Please check out my live from yesterday. Queen was chopping up the nonsense that's played out pertaining to the case. I'm gonna say our boy, but the mess down in Hendersonville. It's a big mess. That was yesterday's live, about 4 hours. Trying to cut the lives down shorter because it seems like when I go live pertaining to that subject matter, the lives have gone on 6 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours. You know, Queen has never done lives that long, ever. But I got up early Saturday. So I just ran with the content. And people were, a lot of people were in the chat talking. And then finally, hour 2, people came up on the panel. So it got winded. And then Jules Valenti, she came up to explain whatever debacle was going on between she and somebody else. Just a bunch of damn nonsense. Everybody arguing and bickering about a dog handler. I woke up thinking about that this morning when I got up. I was saying to myself, who argues about a dog handler? Got me. Damn. Man, this world is backwards. That's it. Can't beat them, join them. You're right. Girl, Penny, the lives have been so long lately because so many people are coming in the chat. I'm having at least 300, 400 people in the chat per live. And it's been a long time since I've had that many people in a live stream. So people only come in the live when you're talking about that certain case. Like right now, there are only 54 people watching. If this title was about that, I'd had 200 people in here in 20 minutes. They don't want to listen to anything else but that. Now I got a whole lot of subscribers. I've got 1,300 plus people who have subscribed in less than 28 days. So there should be more people in the chat this morning, but they're not because they want to hear about that other nonsense. Now, let me go live and put that other mess in the title. I'll easily have 300 people in here listening. Plus the trolls. The trolls, they'll be in there too. So it's really copacetic. My true fans are in the chat like now. The people who will listen to whatever I talk about. They don't care. Whatever I talk about. It doesn't matter if I'm talking about the president or O.J. Simpson or Puff Daddy. They'll listen. But that's the point. You should want to follow the network no matter what I'm talking about. Now, of course, it's your choice. Maybe you're not interested in that topic. You don't want to, participate in the live or the chat or listen. But if you like the content creator, seems like to me you would listen to whatever they're talking about. How do you know if you'll be interested, until you listen to the content? Oh, thank you, hon. But yeah, I talk about different things. Like later when I go live, it's not going to be about none of that nonsense. I'm going to talk about some other stuff. Going to try to reach out to somebody. I want to have a guest up here, but it won't be pertaining to, none of that stuff that's going on down in Hendersonville. Yeah, Penny. Yeah, I think a lot of times, they're new. People don't really want to block people and stuff, but you have to block some things. When they start cursing and the nasty stuff, I can't have that in the chat because it's disruptive, and then it gets out of control because people see the one thing people act like they don't understand is that people feed off of what you say. So you get to talking crazy in the chat, then you start cussing and using nasty words. Then somebody else quips back. They start. Before you know it, you'll have 100-some people all cursing and using nasty emojis. That's not good. That's no good. Hey, Vivian. Yeah, can't have that. All right, honey, be careful. Everybody's getting up. Guess everybody's getting ready for church. Oh yeah, 10:01. It's church time. All right, Barb, be careful. Oh, I don't know. But I'm going to decide which topic I'm going to talk about later. If I'm going to talk about this Facebook market homicide, or I don't know. But you all do need to be careful ordering things off. Buying things and selling things off of Facebook Marketplace. I've been good. God has blessed me not to have any mishaps with dealing with the marketplace. Because God knows, you don't know people. You don't know what they'll do. You can't assume. But people do look at the ratings of the people. So it's helpful if you see they have a good rating as far as, communication, showing up, blah, blah, blah. you take that, take it with a grain of salt. But I would tell anybody still, if, they don't want to meet you, okay, they don't want to meet you. Because everybody's situation is different. A person might be at home, they might be working, so they can't get out and go meet you to take the item or whatever. So it's up to you. You either want to go to their house or you don't want to go to their house. If they can't meet you, then, you move on. It's no big deal. But I've been fortunate. I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff from where I was living a few months ago, and nobody acted a fool, showed out. All the people, they were nice. They bought the things I had to sell. So it was a blessing because there were things I wanted to get rid of, things I didn't want to carry with me or store. And hey, I could honestly say I don't miss any of the stuff I got rid of. The only thing I miss is the one long sofa table I had to sit my big TV on. But I didn't want that table per se because I had tried painting it last year and I did a horrible job trying to paint the table. So I wanted me something else, but it served its purpose because it could hold my big flat screen. But other than that, it's not something I had to have. I would prefer to have a different type of table, a more modern. I wanted a more modern looking table because that's my aesthetic. I like contemporary, modern looking furniture. I don't want anything traditional looking. I'm over that look. As this guy said to me years ago, he said, "Grandma, you can go back to that look when you get old." And that was probably what? 2007? Yeah, that was probably 2006, 2007. That's a long time ago, 17 years ago when he said that. God, how much time has passed. He said, "Honey, you can go back to that traditional look when you get old." I said, "Oh, excuse me." Oh, that was so funny. Oh, thank you. It's simple now. It's the place is, I don't have a lot of stuff now because I was going to get some new stuff, some newer stuff. Like I need some new bedroom things, but I want to wait. I'm trying to decide on that. But as far as the living quarters, it's really, really tiny. Like when I say tiny, I mean, so the only thing I bought was that coffee table. I'm trying to think that I shared that picture on my community page of the coffee table that I bought. Yeah, I shared that picture. I sure did. Because I shared that a few weeks ago. I was able to get it home. Oh Lord, I didn't think I was gonna be able to get it to the place, but somebody was kind enough to help me get it here. And it's really lightweight. And I was blessed because I had seen the table on the marketplace a few times. And I saw it in black. People who were selling it had the table in black. Metal, round, black. Round table with a piece of glass. Although I don't care for glass tables, but I thought I like the style of it because it's contemporary looking. I be darned. I walk in that thrift store and I see that table. I saw a dressing table, white lacquer. I like that. And then I saw that table, coffee table. And it looked so low. And I said, ooh, I don't really like low tables. I said, I don't know, this might be too low. So it was an older lady in there. She was shopping and she said, "You better get that table, honey, because you'll probably regret it. You leave out of here, you'll wish you bought it." And so I kept walking around the store. Finally, I said, nah, I don't know. Maybe not. How am I going to get it home? So then I said, okay, buy it anyway. So I went and got the guy from the back room. I said, "Can you put a sold sign on this table?" He did. I still kept walking around the store, thinking about the table, thinking, do you really want this table? Because that's my rule. Don't buy nothing you really don't want. Don't buy anything you don't have anywhere to put it. Those are my rules because my space is much smaller now. So I said, don't buy anything you cannot use. You have nowhere to store it. Like I don't have anywhere to store whatnots and stuff. So I can't do all that hodgy-podgy stuff and knickknacks. I don't live in a knickknack environment right now. So there is no storing figurines and I don't care for all that stuff anyway. That stuff I did 30 years ago, 20-something. I don't want that stuff. I don't want a bunch of figurines and all of those type of stuff. I don't want nothing I gotta dust. And if I buy something big, that's better, like a statue or something. It's nice size, but that's the point. You still got to find somewhere to put that. So I don't have a lot of figurines and stuff now. I brought a few things with me, but it's not a whole lot because I got a shelf. The cabinets have a shelf, so I've got a few little things up there in the kitchen that I could, use to store some of the little birds and stuff I had, the little metal birds, gold birds and stuff. But other than that, I don't have a lot of room for a bunch of stuff. But the coffee table turns out nice. It looks nice. I've redone the tablescape because I'm always switching stuff out. I don't know if I have a picture of that on the community page. I'll have to go back and look at my community page and see if it's the same way, because I don't think it's the same way, because I think I changed it. Yeah, I've changed it since I took that picture. I keep moving stuff around. That's Queen. I get bored. I get bored easily with stuff. I know you got rid of the bookshelves. Yes, this lady came from Pigeon Forge. She has a store in Pigeon Forge, and she's a dog groomer. She's a dog grooming business, and she drove all the way down to my place, and she picked up those 2 bookshelves. Those were nice bookshelves, I got rid of them to some degree, but my spirit was just telling me to sell them because it was like, you're probably going to move eventually. Go on and sell those damn bookshelves. And I'm glad I sold them. She was happy to get them though. She sent me a picture of the bookshelves, and they look really, really nice in her business. They look real pretty. So I was glad to sell them to her, because in the end, the thing about stuff is just that it's just stuff. You can always go back and get another damn bookshelf. You can get another, you can order a bookshelf just like that somewhere. If I just felt like I had to have those bookshelves, it's not nothing I needed. My neighbor left those behind when they moved, so I got them for free. So, I gained by selling them, And the place where I was living in, the floors weren't even. So if you put anything, glass or whatever on there, they would shift on the shelves because I had my glass decanters on there. And I noticed one day when I was walking by, the decanter was like right at the edge. It was like a second from falling off. And that would have been glass everywhere. There would have been liquor everywhere. I thought, oh, hell no, I'm not getting ready to be cleaning up no broken glass. So I hurried up and took those decanters off the shelf. And then I realized, well, what's the point of having a bookshelf if you can't put anything on it? Whatever I put on it would have to be something that's not breakable. So that's why I sold them. Because the floors in that place where I was living, they weren't leveled. And I noticed things were shifting on the bookshelves. Well, good night. So what y'all talking about up here? Anything YouTube, get 1,000 notifications. Oh yeah, P Diddy. I got to do a short on this one too, P Diddy. Howard University cuts ties with Sean Diddy Combs after video attack. So he pledged, I think, a $2 million gift to the university, and now they're giving him that back, the $2 million pledge. So I'm gonna do a short on that after this live stream. Please check out my shorts in the YouTube queue. 15 seconds of breaking news. 15 seconds, everybody, of breaking news. Please check out my shorts. I did maybe 3 or 4 shorts last night after the live. OJ Simpson, P Diddy, Kim Porter's dad has spoken out about the video of him assaulting Cassie, and Mark Ferman. I did a Mark Ferman video. What else I got? Ginger Girl. Yeah, I think I might do a 2-part live later I might do a story about this lady who stabbed a woman and her small child in a grocery store parking lot. And then I might do the Facebook Marketplace homicide. Thank you. Thank you, September. Well, I'm going to let you all go so you can enjoy your Sunday morning. I think I'm going to go in here and make me some more coffee. Watch me a little HGTV because I have not watched any home decor videos all week. And I haven't watched any organizational skills. I don't think I'm going to watch any movies because I was watching something last night. And I don't even think I know the ending. Once again, Queen fell asleep. I fell asleep. TV just playing. TV still on now. I've got the volume on mute. This is every night. I watch a movie and I keep falling asleep on them. I can't finish a movie for nothing. So I told myself, I think I'm going to start watching the thrillers, scary movies during the day or afternoon. Because for some reason, when it's dark 30, wee hours, I can't finish them. Oh, thank you, lady. I appreciate that. Lady Justice, thank you. What was awful luminous? Oh, September. You know what? That's true. Because you know what's so weird? When I woke up this morning, I must have been recanting the dream. In the dream, I was talking to somebody. Hell, this might be deja vu, you saying that. I was saying to somebody in the dream, yeah, I got some good sleep, much needed sleep. And the person was saying that to me. You need to get rest. You're not getting enough rest. Because I think they were referring to all the live streams I've done, the long ones. And they were saying, you need some rest. You need to get enough sleep. Because I think I was telling the person in the dream, oh my gosh, I feel so better. I've gotten enough rest. And I think it was in reference to the live streams. So that's so funny you would come in here and say that. God, it's spooky. All right, ASC, you have a good day too. The dog handler. What about the dog handler, September? Oh, about him being stabbed? Yeah, that's messed up. Some people may think it's racial. So that's why I'm going to do that live. I'm sure it'll be controversial, me talking about that subject because I've already got a few comments under the video. One person thinks it's targeted, but where I have a problem, I don't want to say it's racial because one, I don't know the girl. Just happens to be it's a black person committing a crime. The victims are white. But what people need to understand, before you get excited and say it's racially motivated, she stole the knives out of one store. So common sense should tell you there were white people in the store where she stole the knives. Okay? That's number one. She stole the knives allegedly from store one, that at the thrift store. So there are white people in there. So why go out of that store, walk past white people? White people are coming in and out of the store, that parking lot. You got to walk in another parking lot to go to the other store. Still more white people. They've got her on camera walking by people with the knives in her hand. So she's in the second store with the knives exposed. It's on video. Now, there are white people everywhere, from one store to the next. So if it's racial, she could have stabbed white people in the first store. Why walk out of that store, walk into a parking lot, you got to get to the next store, walk into that store, walk around the store. She didn't even really walk around. She walked like in the front of the store, I think. The white lady passes her with the child in the buggy, and then she zips right back around. So as someone is saying right here in my comment section, I believe it's Ginger Snap. Hold on. I'm going to read the comment. Somebody says, Ginger Snap says, what the hell? Not random, in my opinion. She targeted them. So then they replied back to me. She definitely is mentally ill. She saw something in those victims that triggered something, and then she acted upon that trigger. It might have been years. It might take years of therapy to get into her head and find the reasons for this horrific act. So I had replied earlier. I said, was it targeted? She stole the knives from a thrift store. Could have easily attacked a white person there or outside while walking in the parking lot. She goes into another store while bypassing numerous people, doubles around, following the woman and child out, then attacks them. Maybe she's mentally ill. So I'll probably do that live later today. We're talking about a black woman that stabbed a white lady and her baby, her son, small son. The child died. Some people may feel like it's racial, but I can't say it's racial only because she was surrounded by white people from one store to the next. We're not going to know until somebody talks to her and gets her, explanation why she did it. They also got the video released of her arrest where she's on the ground. I didn't see that one. The one I watched the other day just shows her walking around the store, double back and following the lady out of the store. And then they show the crime scene outside. I haven't seen video footage of the actual stabbing. I don't know if they have a video of that, but I did see the police officer following her while she's strolling herself in this wheelchair with a suitcase. This bitch is crazy. And she's asking her questions like, hey, you need some help? You need some help? And she's like, no, I'm okay. It's just hot out here. She's a nut. There's something wrong with her. She's crazy. They even show her pushing the wheelchair up to a counter, I think at the police station, because she got arrested the week before and she was coming to get her money. I think maybe she thinks they stole her money when she got arrested. You know how they put all your stuff up, your belongings. So she was coming to dispute whatever was missing from her personal effects. But what's so strange about that interaction is that she gets up out the damn wheelchair. she gets up. She's pushing her wheelchair. She's pushing her wheelchair with that suitcase. Same suitcase you see her holding when the police officers approach her after the stabbing. So she stabs this lady. I said this in one of the videos on YouTube. I commented. I said, well, what did she do? Jump up out of the wheelchair and stab her, or she stabbed her in the wheelchair? I don't really know. We'll wait to hear that information. But when the police officer confronted her on the public street, it was a female officer, she was in the wheelchair. So I'd like to know, did she stand up out the wheelchair and stab the lady, or she stabbed her sitting in the wheelchair, her and the baby? It's very crazy. Yeah, she probably had took some meds. Yeah, it's a wicked story. But I'll probably bring that story later today. I'll probably do a 2 for 2. All right, everybody, I'm going to check out of here. You all have a wonderful Sunday morning. Please be safe. Have a blessed week. Get out, get you some sun, some vitamin D. Take the kiddies out. Catch a movie. Ride a bicycle. Do something constructive. And if you need to organize your house, please do so. Less is more. That's my advice to people. You don't need as much stuff as you think you do. Your mind tells you need all this stuff. Shoes, clothes, knickknacks, wrapping paper, Tupperware bowls, whatever it is you collect. You don't need all that stuff. Trust me. You will feel the weight, the burden of getting rid of that stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. You will feel so much better when you get rid of all that stuff. That's why I love watching these new videos. I have a few people I follow here on YouTube. YouTubers that do organizational skills. I've shared some of their content on my network, but it's a relief. I speak from personal experience. It's a relief to go through your items, jewelry, clothes, shoes, Tupperware, silverware, food, whatever you have, and go through that stuff and say, I'm not using this. I don't need it. So either throw it in the garbage. If it's tainted, torn, ripped, stained, throw it in the garbage. If it's useful, clean, donate it to somebody. Take it to the thrift store. Take it to an organization. Take it to a halfway house, a rehab, a whatever. Church, whatever. Donate it. Donate it, donate it, donate it. That's my way of giving back to the world, to the universe, is to donate. Always donate. If you can't donate it, then sell it. Put it on the marketplace, put it on the app, sell it. Just be careful, of who how you navigate to sell it. You don't feel comfortable letting people come to your house. Meet them outside. Meet them on the porch. Meet them at the curb. Or meet them at the police station, public. You tell them, well, I don't feel comfortable. You come into the house. You don't really have to explain nothing to anybody anyway. When they message you, you can just say it's in the description. But like I said, I've been very fortunate to buy things where I didn't have a problem. And I've sold a lot of things here recently, and I didn't have any problems, grace of God. And, you can get a feel of people just in the text messaging. I always go to their profile, look to see how long they've been, on Facebook, or if it's a new profile. If they don't show a picture of themselves, I don't even respond. It's not even nothing to talk about. I'm not going to argue with you about a profile picture. You don't have a profile picture up? No. And naturally, there are a lot of people who sell and buy things on Facebook. They don't even have a Facebook account. So you're not going to see anything on their, you're not going to see anything in the profile because they're not a Facebook user. So that's okay too. But like I always tell people, the conversation should give you a hint of the demeanor of the people you're dealing with. But that still doesn't mean a person won't, try to rob you or scam you. It's just the way it is. But, I just say if you're going to use the Facebook app to purchase items or sell items, just be careful and know that there's a risk of letting somebody come in your house. And if it's something big that they need to carry out, naturally, you need to have a lot of people at the house. If it's something small you're selling, like jewelry, gaming system, whatever, TV, I still, try to have a witness there, have an eyewitness there at the house. Just have a witness. Have some people there at the house. Because most people will be leery to come in a house with a bunch of people there. Because common sense will tell you if they're going to rob you, they're going to have to hurt all the people in the room. You just have to be careful. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $DeGangie129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live. Thank you for the super chat stickers during this live stream. Queen will be back on a little later this afternoon to bring you some breaking news here stateside. Once again, this commentary that I brought to you about the Australian female drying the mop over the fry warmer took place overseas. And this is a new extension to the Vault XL from around the world. So we have this from around the world. Your Crazy America. That's where I bring you stories about crazy nonsense that people do here in America. Crazy scenarios, bad behavior. And then we also have Crime Vault. That's where I bring you an older crime that was either solved or unsolved. So I do owe you all a Crime Vault story because I am behind on that. And I did tell you I was going to do content on John Wayne Gacy. I'm 2 months behind on that, so I apologize. I will try to get that content out to you this week. You all have a wonderful Sunday. You have been listening to the Vault XL.